I don't really like the dollar sign in front of the S.
It kind of makes it a little confusing, doesn't it? Right?
Yeah, it's either
Um,
to me it's either the S or the dollar sign, one of the two.
right, right, right. And you're welcome to. I mean, of course, you're welcome to do whatever you want.
No, I'm looking at it on your Baby Dragon X YouTube detail.
Oh, on details. Well, you're welcome to tell us what to. By the way, we are live. Hey, so thank you everyone who has joined DeFi DGen. Somehow I knew you were going to show up. So thanks for coming on in. We'd like to welcome everybody. So first of all, for those of you, probably everyone knows me, but I always give a brief intro. So I'm James. I'm originally from USA. Been over here in Singapore for almost 18 years. Finally broke out of the corporate structure in 2023 and went. Um, I'm lagging. I'm going to go check something. Just if it happens again. By the way, Rich, let me know if it's lagging on your side, and also anyone on any of the streams. If you find that we are lagging, just let us know.
It seems okay now. Yeah, it's freezing. Hmm.
I'm lagging again. Can you see me lagging, Rich?
Yes, it's happening.
To to reduce lag, I'll close a couple tabs. Sometimes that helps. Okay. You know what I can also do? I can also let me adjust my camera settings. I try to get. Actually, it's already pretty low. Okay, I reduced it just one more level down. Let's try this. So as everyone knows, I mean, I'm over here in Southeast Asia, so it doesn't matter if you're in Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam. No matter where you are over in Asia, the internet can be unpredictable, and it actually gets slower at night. You would think maybe during the day it would be better, but no. It turns out that everybody gets on their internet at night. They get on their phones and all that kind of stuff. So, anyways, I love it over here. I love the tropical weather. I was born in November in Pennsylvania, one of the coldest months of the year. Between November, December, January. Never liked the cold. First time I came to Asia was in 2006, and I love the weather. I love the food. I love the weather. I love the people, and I decided to look for a job. It took me 2 years to find a job. Joined IBM, and I have only gone back to see family since then. So that's my story. I got into Web3 fully in 2021 when I created a gaming guild, Play to Earn Guild. We had 300 players, Axie Infinity, if you know that old thing. And then I got out of my regular jobs. Microsoft was my last, quote, real job in corporate Web2, and I've been fully in Web3 ever since. I honestly love Web3. I feel like it's easier. You don't have a lot of corporate structure, a lot of levels, and all those types of things. And so joined Titan X on day 33, which was December 3rd, the day that changed my life. I like to say that Titan X changed my life. We launched Baby Dragon X the day after Helios, which, by the way, Smoke supports Helios, and I'll let Rich talk about that in a minute. So we launched Helios launched I think on February 28th, and I believe we launched Baby Dragon X launched on February 29th, and we had a 14-day free fair mint, and then we went live, and then what happened to Titan X? It got really quiet. Really quiet. A lot of projects launched, and then Baby Dragon X sat at a market cap of 47,000. The LP went as low as 18 or 19,000, and I thought, okay, bonded liquidity. Eventually, it'll happen. Eventually, it'll happen. Um, and I didn't have a whole lot of Baby Dragon X. I mean, I only had like 6 billion. I could have bought 20. I could have bought 30 billion, but I didn't know. But I was in all the other projects, including Helios. In fact, I had a lot more Helios than I had of my own project. Anyways, that's my story. We launched Uranus because we wanted to be over on base, and it's been a lot of fun on base. We've had a lot of fun with Uranus. Had about 550 billion X28 participate, 10% reflections, which just keep growing. When people buy, sell, or transfer, you get 10% share of all the reflections of other people. So you actually like people to sell. You don't mind them selling. How about you, Rich? Tell us your story. Some people may not know your story, even though we did a quick one yesterday. And welcome. First of all, thank you for being the first to build on Uranus. That's a very special, and we really appreciate you believing in us. You and I've worked together before, so feel free to give your introduction and talk about whatever you'd like.
Yes, hello everyone. I'm Rich in the community, Titan community. Everyone's probably familiar with who I am. I've been in since day one, participate in all the projects, ride the waves, ups and downs. Not happy with the downs, but you got to live with it. So anyway, while we're in these downtimes, I'm just sitting here thinking, people love memes. Let's just have some fun while we're waiting. I mean, why does it have to always be so dull? My main point I want to tell everyone here is don't overcommit, don't overinvest. This is meant to be fun engagement. Don't overinvest. Just have fun with it. And low expectations. And if it exceeds your expectations, everybody's happy. So let's just have some fun while the market is in turmoil and we're trying to peel our way out of this bottom. And yeah, I don't have too much to add. I'll be in the conversation throughout the stream.
So you mentioned something there, like the overall crypto market. What do you think about it? Do you think, I have my own opinions, but what do you think about it? Because you mentioned kind of lows and, sentiment and these types of things. Like, what's your personal thought about it? Do you think we're coming back? Do you think all these Bitcoin reserves and these Ethereum ETFs? I mean, do you have any opinions on those types of things, or do you just kind of like let it all play out?
Yeah, I actually feel that we have found a bottom at this point. I don't feel like we have a lot more to go. Um, I feel firmly that most of the people that are interested in selling have sold, and so those that are still here are those either picking up good bargains or still holding. So I'm bullish on the market overall. I think it's important for us to not invest money we need to live off of,
Right.
so that we can endure these times and have fun with it instead of being so stressed out. So, yep, I'm bullish on the market in general, and I do think we have bottomed.
I think you bring up some good points there. Don't let it stress you out. There's a lot of people who kind of like they check the charts all the time. They check it every hour, or they're out having dinner, coffee with the wife, the girlfriend, the mistress, or your best friends or whatever, and you stay on your phone and like you keep looking at it. Oh, look at DJ DeFi. What's he say? Or he or she? I don't know if he's male or female. I might overinvest. Well, you know what? We're not going to stop you. um,
Of
and we
course.
know, everyone knows their limits. Everyone knows their limits. Yeah, so I totally agree with everything you said there, Rich. I really do. Now, me being in crypto since 2017, I've seen ups, I've seen downs. I heard about Bitcoin back in around 2012. I used to work at IBM, and there was this really smart guy. I mean, like genius smart. Like you could put him in front of some tech that he never saw before, and in 1 hour he would know more about it than was in the manual. Like literally, he was that kind of guy. And I remember all of us outside. We were smoke. I didn't smoke, but I think I had a cigarette, had a coffee and a cigarette. We were taking a break, and this guy, I won't use his name. He said, "Hey guys, I am creating digital money." And I was not close friends with him, but he was the guy that got me the job at IBM. I said, by the way, I don't think you can create money. Like I believe the government actually creates the money, don't they? He says, no, no, this is digital currency. It is called Bitcoin, and this is going to be the future. And I was like, I don't know, Google Wallet, PayPal, digital payments. It's the future is going digital, but how can Bitcoin be the future? Like I just didn't get it. Well, needless to say, that guy is fairly wealthy today. He was, he gave me some numbers, and I might get the numbers wrong. He was, just on his laptop, like back then you could just mine on your laptop. On his laptop, he was mining 10 to 20 Bitcoin a week, something like that. It might have been between his desktop and his laptop, but imagine mining Bitcoin back then. There used to be something also. I don't tell the story too often. So everyone knows what a catchpa is, right? A catchpa is one of those impossible to read darn things. So some guy on Reddit had 3 or 4 thousand Bitcoin. He created a catchpa Bitcoin faucet. And what was that? So what you would do is you could go to that faucet, and if you helped decipher the catchpa, you'd get 10 bitcoins. 10, 10 Bitcoin.
Wow.
So yeah, and he was obviously one of the early people. He was probably mining also. That was back before Bitcoin really had any value. I don't even think it was a penny. Like you had to buy through PayPal and forums and send people money and all these things before it ever got on any exchanges or anything like that. But I always remember those stories, and I think everyone knows about Bitcoin Pizza Day, the day that someone posted on Reddit also. If anybody will send me 2 pizzas with pepperoni and maybe something else, like send me 2 pizzas and I will send you 10,000 Bitcoin. 10,000. It's a famous day, Bitcoin Pizza Day. It's a famous day. So we've come a long way. And the reason I mention some of these things is we don't know what the future will bring. We don't know what new protocols are going to bring. This whole thing about RWA, real world assets, what's going to happen with that? When you can own, like there's a house, maybe it's just $100,000 house, and you own part of it and you get part of the rent. Or maybe there's $100 million building that is tokenized, and for 50,000 or $100,000, you own a portion of that building, and you get a portion of the profit rent once a year, something like that. Real world assets, tokenization of all real world assets. I used to think this was a little bit crazy, like when I first heard about it, but huge corporations are getting into this. So crypto is really here to stay, and it's going to continue to evolve, and I hope to evolve with it. I really hope to continue learning all the time. I've learned so much in Titanx, not just in the protocols, but in leveraging arbitrage, and DeFi. I learned a lot in DeFi by building DeFi, much more than I learned by doing DeFi. The old Ponzi drips. You put in one BNB and you get $5 a day, and then eventually it runs out. But if you got in early enough, you probably made 3 or 4 BNB at the end. So those were like the non-sustainable DeFis. I prefer to build sustainable DeFi, which is what Reflections is. And I think that's one of the good models. Rich loves staking, right? I mean, Rich, it's no secret that you love staking. So obviously you're good at it. You figured out like the numbers and those types of things. So hats
Absolutely.
off to you. Yeah.
Yep. Staking is the reason I'm still able to be here talking about crypto. That delayed gratification was was um, was hard to keep up with at times when the sacrifice was great. But
Yeah.
420 payout in 8 days, and then we just had a Blaze payout, and yeah, I had made sure I had a foothold in each one of the staking protocols on Titanx. The only yeah, it's been fun. Oops, let
Very
me get that.
nice. Very nice. Yeah, yeah, go ahead. Feel free to go on mute if you have to pick up something up. Yeah, so what we wanted to get on here, we wanted to tell people about Uranus. In case you are not familiar, I'm going to I've already minted some. So the Dragon Horde has already done a quick test. We just minted a very tiny little bit. We'll definitely be minting more. But I'm going to try to share my screen. Let me watch YouTube to make sure that the screen actually shares properly. By the way, if anyone has any trouble hearing us or seeing anything, please drop a message into the chat. We appreciate the community, feedback, all of it. Okay, so we are going to try to share the screen. I'm going to share a window. Let's just do it a little bit safer than before I shared like the whole screen. Let's do a little bit different this time. All right, I am sharing. I think I am sharing the Uranus page. It doesn't look like it's showing up on YouTube yet. Maybe I am lagging. Can anyone else see the Uranus page, the Uranus smoke page? Like I said, my internet is so slow that it's sometimes as much as 10 seconds behind. There we go. Okay, so I just want to make sure we were still seeing it. So, as you can see, there's already been 462 million smoke minted. The mint countdown is just in 7 days. You'll see that countdown. 8-day fair mint. 8-day fair mint. So you can mint in either Ethereum or you can mint in X28. If you mint in Ethereum, just decide how much smoke do you want. Well, you can see here there's a couple things like in my cache. So let's say that you want a billion. A billion's a nice number. I'm definitely going to buy more than a billion myself. So a billion, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So a billion smoke will run you 0.057 ETH. And what will that do? That is actually going to buy X28 in the background, and it's going to run through some magic, and then you're going to get smoke in your wallet. You're going to get a billion smoke in your wallet because 0.057 ETH actually buys a billion worth of X28. So that's easy enough on that side. If you want to pay an X28, it's literally the same thing. You just decide how much. Let's say that you're a big spender. Maybe you want 4 billion. So that's super easy. The numbers are 1-to-1. If you want to mint 4 billion smoke, you will need 4 billion X28 in your wallet. You'll be able to see the total X28 from mints. As you go down there, that will update as it goes. I remember from Uranus, the first day of Uranus was a little bit slow. We had to really get there on Telegram and over on X, really tell people about it, tell people how the whole thing works. And I'll tell you one thing that we learned. So we had reflections at 20% on Uranus, and Uniswap refused to let it happen. So it was a little challenging those first 30 or 40 minutes. A little bit, people got angry. Hey, I can't buy, I can't sell. So what we did immediately was we reduced it to 10% reflections. There's only 2% tax for Uranus, 10% reflections. All of a sudden, life was good again. People started buying and selling, and the volume went crazy. And I think we got just under a 3x, and it stayed above 2x for a very, very long time. I think one Uranus right now is worth about 1.8 smoke. Let me just take a look here. Where are we here? So one Uranus is worth 1.93 x28 right now. So, and we're up 5% for the day. Let me tell you something. We learned a lot of lessons. So the first one we learned was you don't want your reflections too high because it just gets too crazy. The slippage gets just out of control. So Rich has decided to go with 7% reflections and 3% tax, which will be extremely easy for your slippage. You can probably put 10%, after you can mint, obviously, during the first 8 days. But once we get into the swapping, you'll probably be able to set your slippage at 10 or 11% and be able to buy and sell smoke. Could be 12%, but it's probably going to be 10 to 11%. There's going to be multiple LPs created. So we're just going to whip through the smoke page. We already did a 30-minute stream with the dude. The dude is off for the weekend. He's enjoying life as well he should. I mean, that's why we're in the things we do. I joined Web3 because at previous corporate jobs, I generally had jobs where I had maybe teams of people and projects due and just, morning till night and global calls. It got to the point of where I wondered, like, what am I doing? And I wasn't really enjoying it anymore. I wasn't enjoying it. So in Web3, I love it. In fact, I don't sometimes know what day it is. Like I know today is, let me just check, Saturday. So I know today is Saturday, but I don't really know if it's like Tuesday or if it's Thursday because I tend to work nearly every day because I love what I do. I do a couple things. I'm the CEO of a different protocol, and I've got a couple projects here. I'm an advisor for one or two projects. I'm a co-founder in a couple projects, and I love so much what I do. You know what they said? I let me see if I can get this quote right. If you find something that you love, you'll never work another day in your life. So I feel like, before when I heard that, I thought it was nonsense. Like, how could you find something that you love so much? Maybe if you're helping people directly, maybe you're a doctor or you're a social worker or something like this, where you're like directly helping someone. Maybe that's like a passion. But I never had passion. Like when I was doing reports and calls and selling goods in data centers, that was not my passion. I did it because I knew how to do it and it made money. But in Web3, in democratization, in participating in protocols and building protocols, I love it. I absolutely love it. So a little bit about Little Blunt, Lil Blunt and Smoke Ring. So first of all, Lil Blunt here is a happy, very happy little marijuana leaf smoking. He's in his rocket and he's circling Uranus. He's out there enjoying life in space. You can read the audited report. So we audited the original Uranus report, and these are forks. So the Uranus forks, they're all complete forks. The only thing you can change are the reflections and the taxes. There's no logic change, but we still audit every single contract. And you can see it posted there. The website is, of course, so when you go to Uranus28.win, it's going to take you right to the website where you can mint your smoke. The X handle is Pump Uranus, so we're just keeping it one. If you are interested, I'm gonna insert this little commercial here. If you are interested to build on Uranus, it is super, super simple. We have a Telegram. I'm going to just pop up the Telegram here, just really quick. So let me make sure that on YouTube it's sharing and it's clear. My YouTube is lagging a little bit, so I'm gonna wait till it shows up. By the way, Rich, you're probably not lagging. Can you see the Uranus topics and everything like that?
Uh, on the website?
No, I'm sharing. Oh, never mind. You know what? You can't because I'm not sharing the whole screen.
Yeah, I
I am
see.
now. I am going to stop sharing, and then I'm going to share my entire screen. So let me just do that. So we'll put Uranus in the background. So if you are interested in building on Uranus, what do you get? What do you get for that? So first of all, you get an audited contract. You get a flexible contract where you can have zero reflections, or you can have up to. We're not going to allow anyone to go above 10%, even though you can go above. We're going to keep the cap at 10% reflections. As in the form of taxes, you can have 0% tax. You can have 1% tax at a bare minimum, or you can have as much as 5% tax. That is your range, and we have some different things in there about how tax works. You can decide your liquidity pools. We will suggest several liquidity pools that you need to be in, but if you want to be in some other liquidity pools also on base, we follow the Titan ethos. We do not. We have a very tiny ETH pair. It's only like $600. Like, yes, something very, very, very tiny. So on the very base of over on base chain, everything is paired with E280. So our primary pair is E280, and I don't have the white paper in front of me. I could look to see the different pairs that we're in, but we pair with E280, we pair with S88, we pair with B88, which are the omni-chain protocols. We are of course going to pair with Smoke. So if you want to build a meme token, but you're not sure how, and you don't want to pay thousands of dollars for an audit, because even for a simple meme token, you will pay $1,000 or $1,200 for an audit. We use a great auditor. Now you could probably find someone to audit your contract for $300 or $400, but are they quality? You know, Hard to say. We've used these auditors and we've never had a flaw or a fault in our contract. So you get a forked contract of Uranus. You get your own topic. You can see here, Lil Blunt Smoke has their own topic. The second ring of Uranus is in process. So that is another founder in Titan X who can't wait to build on Uranus. And you can do different things too. You can have allocations go to other protocols. So, for example, Rich wants to burn H420. So there's an allocation that burns H420, and also in the tax, there's a portion of it that burns H420. So if you've got a favorite protocol in the Titan X ecosystem, and you want some kind of allocation to be able to send to the buy and burn, we can do that for you with no changes of the contract. So we also have moderators. We have actually 2 paid moderators. So they are. I only say that they're paid because a lot of moderators are not paid. They do it to volunteer, but we have paid moderators. So they are really there for you to really help you out. So you get that. You also get a community. So we've got 550 people in here who love base. They love Uranus. They're probably going to mint some smoke. Who knows? Let's see. However, you are welcome to, number one, you don't have to create your own X account. I'm going to stop sharing my whole screen because I just wanted to show you that part. So let me go back to stop sharing the whole screen. And I'm just going to share the Uranus page because that's the most important one, I think. Share screen, and we will share. Good Lord. Let's see here. Okay. Let something refresh here. As I said, the challenges of working in Asia, you have to get used to the internet. So I stopped being angry at slow internet a very long time ago. All right, so we're going to try this again. Let's try to present and share screen. Just share one of my windows. Is it this one? That is my clip. It's not that one. Is it this one? You know what? Let's just do the entire screen. Okay. Have to ask you, Rich. Are you able to see the entire screen now? I can see it popped up on my YouTube.
Yes, I can
Can
see
you see
it.
it?
Yes,
You're
I
all
can see
good?
it. Mhm.
I always like to ask because of my crazy internet over here. I run speed test, and it tells me that I have 200 upload. No, 250 download and 100 megabits upload. I don't know how that's possible because it doesn't seem like anywhere near that.
Mhm.
So that's a very long way of going through. If you want to build on Uranus, stop into the Uranus Telegram, tag a mod and say, hey, I'm interested to speak to James about building on Uranus. You and I will enter into a private chat. We can jump on Meets or we can do it all through text, and I'll walk you through it. It is super easy. And I'll tell you why it's so easy. So, number one, you want to be on Deck Screener. And as soon as we go live on the 8th day, Deck Screener is already all set up. It's ready. It is ready. In fact, Rich and I just did that earlier on, a couple minutes ago. So, Smoke will be immediately on Deck Screener the first time it trades right away. So, for $299, you take care of that yourself. And then for only $900, you get everything I just told you about. You get the fully audited contract, customizable with quite a few things, taxes, pointing to different buy and burns. You can choose to buy and burn. We strongly recommend buy and burn with this. We strongly recommend reflections. If you don't do those things, you will not get great participation. I'm fairly certain of it. You can have your own X handle, but say that you're on the go and you just don't have time to handle your own X handle. Pump Uranus is going to constantly tweet about Smoke, Uranus, Protocol 3, Protocol 4, Protocol 5. So we will constantly be doing those things for you. In Telegram, you've got your own topic. So there you go, and mods. So during the mint phase, I think we've already talked about this. We'll just run through it super quick though. It's an 8-day mint. The countdown's on the page. 1x28 equals 1 smoke, and the mint closes after 8 days. So just a little bit about the tokenomics for those of you who may not have seen our 30-minute stream with the dude. Can you believe it? We actually kept it to 30 minutes. We didn't do one of those 1 hour 90-minute marathons. We kept it right at 30 minutes. So 50% of the X28 that is minted with is going to be used to buy and burn smoke. Now when we launched Uranus, We used 25% of the available balance, and we had incredible amount of volume, and that's when we went up to like just going by memory, about a 3x, immense amount of volume. A lot of people were buying and selling to try to catch to catch the rise and then hit the dip, and try to catch the falling knife. Maybe they weren't trying to catch the falling knife, but a lot of people held, and every time everyone was buying and selling, the holders were getting 10% reflections. So 50% of that will be used at Rich's discretion. Rich can decide, well, so we're going to have a buy and burn party, by the way, that we'll talk about at the end. So Uranus is going to have a buy and burn party to celebrate Smoke going live. So Smoke will have its buy and burn party, and then Uranus is going to do buy and burn at the same time. So imagine the arbitrage. Imagine the volume that's going to happen at that point. 5% of all the X28 that is minted is going to be buying and burning H420 on base. Even more arbitrage. 40% of all the X28 is going to go into the following LPs. You can read them for yourself. H420, E280, and 18% with Uranus. We're keeping a small amount out there for future LPs and marketing. This is actually a very small number. This 8% here, that's a very small number, so low inflation. And we've kept the Genesis also extremely reasonable. The Titan-X ecosystem, as you know, has an 8% Genesis. A lot of founders do that. Some of them do 4%. Some of them do 1 or 2%. So we've kept it at a 5%. The way that the 3% tax is allocated is 1.5% goes to marketing and paying our moderators. So that blue check mark doesn't come for free. Elon Musk didn't get to be a multi-billionaire by giving anything away for free. Twitter is a great platform, and we love it, and that's why we have the blue check over there. 0.5% will go to the LP wallet for Smoke Uranus. 0.5% more will go to buy and burn 420, so forever burn. And then 0.5% will continue to burn Smoke, so it is also forever deflationary. Reflections, we're not going to talk about what are reflections because I think most of you probably know what it is. It's just tokens that fall into your wallet. As other people buy, sell, and transfer, if you are a holder of any amount of Smoke, you will continue to earn more Smoke every single transaction. You don't have to claim it. What isn't it a wonderful thing? So it's an 8-day mint period, which means at the beginning of day 9, we will create the LPs manually. After we are certain that everything is working properly, we will burn the tokens. You don't have to wait for us to burn the tokens. In fact, we don't want you to wait. We want everybody to be using the LPs. We'll also be using them and testing them. And after that, all of these LP tokens will be burnt. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Burnt with no owner. So, reflection 7%. 7's a lucky number, just like 8's a lucky number. Additional LPs can be created as more X20 projects go live on base. Now, there is only 8% there, so we don't have a huge amount there, or Rich doesn't have a huge amount. Of course, people can create your own LPs. There are a couple public functions here. So the buy and burn is a publicly callable function. When you call the function, you will get anywhere from 0.03% up to 5%. Obviously, it's going to be very low because to call a function on base is 0.0002. So that's a very, very small amount. If GUI would happen to go up on base for any reason, we can always change that. We can always change it to 0.05 or something higher. It'll never be 5%. Let me tell you that. Also, to distribute the Smoke taxes, there's also a public function, but not for reflections. Reflections happen automatically. None of this is financial advice. The past performance of any crypto that I have ever created or that Uranus has done does not guarantee any future results. We say it all the time. You're responsible for your own decisions about interacting with protocols. So Really, it's an on-chain contract, no intermediaries, no humans, just you, the code, and your wonderful smoke. So a one pager, keeping it fun and keeping it like that. That's what Rich was talking about, and that is the vibe of smoke.
Wonderful job.
So I'm going to stop sharing here. Let's make sure that it's looking right. Are we looking good?
Let's go look at
Is my
the Mint page.
Sure? Yeah. You know what? Let me go to the Mint page so that it's easier for me to find. Oh, look, 10. Is that 10 billion? Oh, some people are rolling. I haven't even minted yet. I got I won't tell you. I'm thinking about I'm thinking about quite a bit. Okay, so let's go to this Mint page here. Let's do a share screen. Share screen, and we will share only. Why can't I see the Mint page? Ah, Chrome tab. That's why. Okay. All right. Let me know, Rich, when you can see the Uranus page because it's delayed on my YouTube. There we
Yeah,
are.
I can see it.
Can see it now. All right. So we got 10 billion already. 10 billion Uranus. And like I said, the Dragon Horde hasn't minted yet. And I personally haven't minted yet. And we are going to have an 8-day campaign. You're going to be hearing so much about smoke. You're going to look at that. Somebody just minted 3 billion more. By the way, this website updates in real time. So if you're on the page, you can actually see the mints increasing as you go. I think people are going to have fun with this one. It's a cute little meme. People identify with it. Uranus has done well and will continue to do well. The people who are holding Uranus continue to get those reflections. And same with smoke. Same idea with smoke.
It definitely has a lot of fun memes to put together with it, and I've been having
You've
fun with
already created a bunch of funny ones in your. I've seen them. You drop them into the chat. Yeah. Where do you get your inspiration? Let me ask you that, Rich.
I learned
Where
how
do
to
you
make memes just yesterday, and you couldn't stop me after that.
You learned a day ago how to make memes, like one day, and now we can't stop you. We can't get you off of it, huh?
It's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a fun character to play with. It's you could just tell it to combine these certain narratives, and there it does. Throw something out there. It's fun.
The one thing that's a little challenge though is it doesn't always give you what you want.
No, you have to kind of finesse it and
Yeah,
continue to negotiate with the AI.
I like that word. Negotiate with the AI. When you and I were talking before, you were trying to you had one of your versions that was just perfect except for one little thing, and then every time you try to change it, it changed everything. It messed up everything, and it whatever. So I found an AI that says you can upload an image and you can tell it exactly what you want to add or remove, and it will only do that. Now, I haven't tried it out yet. I did drop it over to you, Rich. You're welcome. Maybe they have a trial, like a free trial to try it out. I'm definitely going to try it out because I myself get a little bit frustrated, especially, creating the memes and everything looks really good, except like a couple of the word is spelled wrong, or they put like a random object up there. So yeah, I tend to use Dolly 3, which it's an old one, it's like it's old tech. These new gen AIs for pictures, they are really smart. I just happen to use it because I pay for ChatGPT. But take a look around, you know, try different ones out. Try the free ones. Try the trials and see what you can do. Have fun with it. Have fun with it. I am looking at something over here. I believe I'm going to mint some smoke on screen. It's not going to be on screen, but I have a wallet that is actually it's not ready yet. Let me just do one little thing here. So I'm a big believer in reflections tokens, you know. And by the way, some people say, what happens when like it dies? Well, the more that you build on Uranus and the more arbitration that you have, the more reflections that are created. So the R-bots have already started doing quite a bit, you know, $300 to $500 a day, and that's just the very, very, very beginning. So these R-bots are going to be creating volume for us. Humans, of course, are going to continue to buy and sell because that's what humans do. But did I send it here? Did I send my money here? Hold on, where is it? Yes, there it is. So R bots. In fact, I was building an R bot. In fact, I did build one. Um, a friend of mine sent me some base code in Python, and it didn't work. So what I did is I dropped it into ChatGPT, and I went around and fixed it so I could actually use the bot to do trades, to do swaps. Like I didn't have to go to Uniswap or anything like that. I just had to have the, what do you call that? Some kind of pool. Like there's some name for like the pool for that. You had to point to it. And I was able to swap. That's not an arbitration bot though. That is a swap bot. So in order to have an arbitration bot, you need a little bit of logic in there. You need to have two pools that you're looking at. So say that your R bot is looking at smoke Uranus and it's also looking at smoke 420. So it can look at and it's looking at, maybe it's looking at 3, and then it's also looking at Uranus and 420. So it can take a look there. If it swaps for one, can it swap for another one and make some type of profit? Even if the bot only makes 5 cents or 10 cents of profit, if it runs, 1,000 times a day, $50, $100, $200. Imagine having a smart bot out there just running and running and running. Some people are doing this as their full-time job. They build these beautiful bots. PTGC is one of those that is just a fantastic one. They've really got it figured out there. There's a lot of good bots over on Pulse Chain. If you're not on Pulse Chain and never heard of it, go check out Pulse Chain. They do some very interesting things over there. In fact, that's where I learned a lot of what I know today from that. I am going to mint some Uranus as we are speaking. Let me think here. So I'm going to mint with ETH. How much ETH do I have? Okay, so how much ETH do I have? My memory's not that good. It's midnight over here in Singapore. Midnight. So I can mint that much. Let's do. Can we do that much? Can we do this much? Oh, no. Okay, I am pretty close. So I've got 6. All right, so let's do 8.5. There we go. Here we go. Minting with some base ETH. I've been holding this base ETH here ever since Rich came to me and said he wanted to build on Uranus. I slid a little bit of base over, and I was ready because I will participate in your protocol. By the way, if you happen to build on Uranus, the Dragon Horde and James will personally participate. I don't know how much, but I will certainly support your protocol. So as you can see, now we got 21 billion smoke, and we launched at 20 less than 2 hours. We're up to about 21 billion. So this is usually what happens. Usually what happens is you get off to the 20, 30, 50 billion start. And then people start seeing things on Twitter. You see a meme, you see people talking about it. You start seeing people talking about the reflections that they had in Uranus, and then you just get more people like starting, just getting into it. I personally am on a couple base spaces. I've been introducing Titan X28 on base, but that's not what I really talk about. What I talk about is that you can build your own protocol on top of what is called X28. Or if you want to do some kind of meme token, you can build on Uranus with a very small amount of money. So I get on spaces, and guess what? Every time I get on spaces, guess what I'm going to be talking about? Uranus and smoke every single time. And I get on those spaces quite often, and so I'll be doing that as much as I can. My team is on them often. Also, they generally sometimes they talk, sometimes they don't. But I am going to be promoting this, so you can count on the founder. Sorry, you can count on the founder of Uranus fully supporting smoke. And Rich is going to support it in his own ways, whether it's through chats or whether it's. Oh, by the way, we took the 30-minute stream that we did and we cut it up. We used Opus, and it created 20 clips. And we are going to. I think we've posted a couple of those clips already. So those are just 60-second clips. You can get like a quick gauge of, dudes talking. I haven't seen any of you talking yet, Rich, but I talk on one, and then dude talks on the same one. So you actually selected. So by the way, maybe you can tell me, of that one set, are you talking in any of those first like 6 or 7 that you liked?
Oh yeah, I think it's
You are.
the probably the third or fourth one down the list
Yep.
was one that where I was speaking.
Cool. Cool. We're going to create more. We just wanted to get those like 6. We want to just knock those 6 out really quick, because we knock those out and we get those circulating. We get the community circulating them, and then it just creates a little bit of hype. And we'll go through them, and we'll probably pick a couple more, and we'll get them out there. The key is, some people don't like to watch 30-minute streams. Some people like to say, "What's it all about? Tell me in 60 seconds." Well, there you go. You got 60 seconds, and we do that. So you will. We've got in the YouTube that you're watching right now. Let me make sure I'm telling the truth. In the YouTube, if you look down into the info section, you will see Pump Uranus websites. It looks like it looks like I'll need to edit that. So the website is mixed up with the X, but don't worry, we'll fix that. So the website, the X is first, Pump Uranus, and then the Telegram is listed there, and everything like that. So everything is right there. By the way, if you're not a streamer and you want to get into it, it's really, really easy. Like, you can jump on StreamYard. StreamYard is free to use, and someone clicked that link. See, in that little link there, new to streaming or looking to level up. If you want to get into StreamYard, if you click that link, it'll give me a 10% discount. Like if I want to upgrade my paid version, which I might do that. So someone did that already. I never saw that before. So whoever did that, thank you for the $10 referral. I appreciate that.
Hey James,
That was
can
really
you
nice.
refresh your browser there?
Absolutely, absolutely. Give me let me move my ring light and do a refresh.
The screen that's on
Yes.
YouTube is showing the 462 million, which was quite a while ago.
Oh, okay. Is it showing? Is it showing 22 billion now? 21 billion. 21.9, close enough to 22.
Something, the screen that's showing up on the YouTube is only showing 462.
Oh,
Maybe
is it? Okay, okay. What I mean on YouTube. I'm gonna send you a screenshot of what I see on YouTube, because that's kind of wild that you see something different than me. Give me a second here. Tech is funny, isn't it? I mean, it's just freaking wild. Okay, here is what I am seeing. Okay, just send it to your. I just DM'd it over to you. Um,
ask the chat what they see.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, you know what? That's probably a better idea. So trust. Oh, hey, Trust Titan X plan. Thank you, first of all, for being a great community member. Thank you for helping out. You are doing a fantastic job. He is seeing, I assume it's a he. I've never spoken to this person. So Trust Titan X plan says they see 21.9 billion on
Hmm.
theirs. So maybe your YouTube is, possibly yours is delayed. Maybe do a refresh on your YouTube.
Yeah,
See
that's
if it
strange. Okay.
it is. It's weird. Hey, I mean, you know, maybe Southeast Asia is not the only place that has laggy internet. Maybe
Ah,
it's over there in the good old USA, my motherland, my
okay. It's refreshed now. I don't know why. That's strange.
it trust me, it happens. Trust me, it happens. Give me a second here. Gotta reach back for something. Let me make sure my green screen is still working. Yep, green
Boy,
screen still.
let's look at the Titan X hub.
Sure.
We
Let's
are
see.
in the midst of a bull run. I mean, a liftoff.
I think I have to. I think I have to reshare.
We have some bullish activity in the market.
I believe that you are correct. Give me a second while I adjust my. I'm going to remove the backstage. I'm going to try not to kick you out, Rich. I've kicked you out before, but I promise not to do it this time. Okay. So I'm going to try to present, share screen, entire screen. Let's try it this way. Okay. Hey, chat. First of all, thank you for coming. Thank you for stopping in. And let's take a look here. Let's take a look. X28's up 13%. Oh, who's the biggest one? Let's talk about the big boys first and girls. So Matrix, Mike Dean, one of my favorite people. ORX is just slightly ahead of Matrix. Super Shadowy, that guy. I feel like he's a genius. I assume he's a male. I feel like Super Shadowy has created an incredible protocol, an absolutely incredible protocol, a very useful, a very great utility protocol for the ecosystem, where you can borrow, you can leverage your assets and borrow against them, or you can sit back and you can have ORX and you can have USDX and do all these things with them. I personally so the Dragon Horde and myself personally, all we did was mint. I bought a little bit of ORX, but we minted. So that's kind of out in the future. Baby Dragon X is up 10%. Look at that. Element's up 10%. Hyper, thank goodness Hyper's coming back. Whew. I was worried about Hyper there for a little while. My good friend Callum, well done on Phoenix. You're up 15%. Titan X, nice to see Titan X green for once. Wonderful. Uranus is up 6%. Very, very good. By the way, I'm going to give a little commercial here for Baby Dragon X. So Baby Dragon X, as you know, was the first protocol built on DragonX. Eric, I've met in person. I met him at an event. He is about a foot and a half taller than me. So he's a great guy. He's really, 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 really a great guy. So he gave us a lot of mentoring when we were building Baby Dragon X. So originally, Baby Dragon X was not a green dragon. It was a luck dragon. So it was a white luck dragon, and it was going to be a very simple meme coin with tokenomics that they just weren't great. And Eric came in as an advisor. Like he kind of invited himself in as an advisor because we were building on him and we did ask him questions. And like what I like to say is that he gave 20 different recommendations just as an estimate. And we took 19 of those recommendations. And every single thing he said worked out well. Every single thing. So I often wonder, what if I would have done that last one? What if I would have taken that last 20th one? Would things have been different? Baby Dragon X, of course, did have a great story. Dragon X went up something like 15x. I might have the numbers wrong. Baby Dragon X went up 77x during that run up. And then some magic happened. Like even I didn't know as a founder. Then we went to a $6 million market cap. The 77X went to a $4.2 million market cap. By the way, that happened when I was talking to the dude. As you know, I'm working with the dude on different projects. He and I were talking about something, and we pulled up Titan X Hub, and we looked and we said, Baby Dragon X is up. Why is it up so much? Why is it up like 75% and 85 and 95%? And then I looked at the market cap. It was 4.2 million. And I said, 4.2 million. Dude loves 4.2. Maybe it's like the universe is talking to us. And we did a calculation. Because remember I didn't say it yet this time, but I'll tell you. Baby Dragon X sat at a 47,000 market cap for months. Months. I could have bought more, but I didn't have a regular job. I was building. So I didn't have a lot of extra money. So I only had a certain amount of Baby Dragon X. Too bad I didn't buy another 10 billion, or whatever. So it was great. It was a great ride up. And I think that the Titan X ecosystem is going to be reactivated. And I'm very bullish on it. Red days are, red candles or green candles. We're always here. That's kind of the tagline of the weekly Titan X Plan A and Mike Dean. Just shout out to those guys. They're very hard workers. Plan A is not a builder himself, but I consider him a community builder. I think Plan A just does a fantastic job moderating that chat, really, getting the community to speak. And it's an open community. You can come on there. We don't expect rainbows and unicorns on that chat. We want to hear what you have to say. So it is about, I think it's midnight my time, with time changes and such. I think it's about midnight my time. I'm always on there. I've literally missed twice only in all the time because I like to listen to the community. I want to hear what you have to say. Some of you don't like meme coins. Some of you love meme coins. Some of you say, let's go to Sonic right away. Some of you, there's all kinds of opinions there. And if you don't know about the Titan X weekly call, if you can't make it during that time, it's always recorded. It's worth listening to. Because a lot of founders join there. Not all founders join, but a lot of us founders join. And we listen to it. And we definitely listen to your suggestions and such. So let me get back to the S88 and the B88 thing. So right now, Helios and Baby Dragon X Adventure, we partnered. We partnered and we went omni-chain. We were the first to go omni-chain over on Base. So HLX, it's a forever mint. You can mint your HLX and it turns into H420. That's over on Ethereum. If you want to, you can bridge some. You can either create liquidity or you can hold it and play the market game. Excuse me. Or you can bring it over. You can bridge it over to Base and start playing around on Base. Now that might be an interesting move because now Smoke is burning H420. So all of a sudden, H420 has a burning mechanism. That's going to be interesting to see how that goes. I can't wait. In fact, I'm probably going to have to pick up some H420. I had some, and I don't have I don't know if I have any, but I certainly don't have enough. So I am personally, this is not financial advice by any means. But what I want to say is, if there is a protocol that is burning another protocol, burning, buying and burning, that is pretty powerful stuff. So, Rich,
Yep.
let, let's talk about Zen for a minute. So, you were in Zen,
We have
right?
to.
Were you in Zen on day one, or did you get in later, and how did you hear about Zen?
So first, you didn't hear it, but I said, "Do we have to?" But anyway, yes,
Oh,
I was in.
oh. We don't have to. If
I'm
that's a
just
sore
joking.
subject, then
No, no,
okay,
no.
okay.
I'm joking. It was satire.
I can never, as Rich, as long as I've known you, I never know if you're kidding or not. Like, you've got a deadpan voice. I literally never, I never know. I never know. But go ahead. Yeah, tell us your Zen story as much as you want.
Yeah, I said, "Do I have to?" But anyways, yes, I was in Zen from day one.
Oh,
It
yeah.
started off on Polygon first,
Oh,
and
did
then
you?
it branched out into Ethereum and the others. But
Yeah.
yeah, I had a lot of fun until I realized it was a down only experiment,
Mm-hmm.
and then later on, I figured out that others. No, never mind. I'm getting something confused there. That was a later project that was built on top of Zen. But yeah, anyway, what did you want to bring out about Zen?
So, what I wanted to say about Zen was my first introduction into fair crypto. Like, I knew that Bitcoin was built on first principles. That I did know. But since then, I never heard anybody talk about fair launch, fair crypto, and all this other kind of stuff. And then Jack Levin and oh my goodness, this is terrible because I've met the other guy in person. He's I can't believe I
Shenzu.
forgot. Zen.
Shenzu.
He's gonna kill me if he ever hears this stream. So I met Zenzu at a Token 2049 event, actually, and Zenzu, I like to call him a giant in crypto, and I believe, number one, he's the giant in crypto because he was part of the Zen project, but he's also extremely tall, like maybe 190 centimeters tall, 6'5", 6'5", 6'6". I'm only 5'8", 5'9". So I was looking up like this, like when I was looking at him, and he's a great guy, really super friendly. I was just walking around. I knew what he looked like, of course, because I've seen him on stream. And as I was at Token 2049 in Singapore, I looked over and I saw a group of 6 guys, and I saw one guy that was super tall, and I was like, "Is that Zenzu? Is that him?" So I walked over and I said, "Zenzu, hey, it's Zbar." And he's like, "Zbar, what's up, man? What's up? What's up?" So the reason I talk about Zen, it was my first introduction to fair crypto. I I was a Zen maxi. I was a Zen maxi. Before Zen NFTs, I had 480 wallets because you could only mint Zen on one wallet at a time. So I couldn't wait for Zen NFTs. I did do NFTs when they came out, but I had 400 wallets. I am, some people did extraordinarily well with Zen, extraordinarily well. I feel like I did well. I think I certainly made a profit in Zen. Certainly made a profit in Zen, but it's not about the profit. It's about learning about it. I never built on Zen because I didn't know how. But DB Zen and some others, some of them did really well and then flared away. Some of them maybe they didn't do as well. But the way that and I saw Jake on a crypto kindness. So I love crypto kindness. That guy. So I was even on one of his streams for Baby Dragon X. We made a special Baby Dragon X meme just for him. In fact, if any of you know crypto kindness, he one time he put a life jacket on because, as you know, the Zen chart was kind of looked like an L, like the L for Jack Levin, kind of down a little bit. So I remember hearing a stream where Crypto kind of said, "It's time for the life jacket." So he reached up and he put on a life jacket. So what we did was I created a life jacket for him. The baby dragon was wearing a life jacket. He loved it. He loved.
Yeah, he said, "Is this the Titanic?"
Is this the Titanic? Do we need life jackets? And I just thought it was so funny that I had to do something about it. So I whipped out Dolly, and literally like the second the one, it only took one or two times, and it was a cool little baby dragon and had the life jacket on. It's sitting, it's like floating in the water. It looks like it's on a lily pad or something like that. But anyways, yeah, life jacket. So I'm into memes. I'm also into memes, which is why I'm in these meme coins. But I'm also into utility, and I'm going to give a little. I'm just going to give a little alpha. The Titan X Club, right, or the Titan X, team. The Titan X team is building a incredibly powerful utility platform. So that's all I'm going to say about it. I know that doesn't sound like much alpha, but that is not a token. That is a platform that will benefit literally any token, not just Titan X. It's going to do some wonders for Titan X. We know it's going to do some amazing things for Titan X for those who want to do it. But if you have your own protocol, you'll also be able to do something with it. So just a little bit of alpha there that's coming. It is so sophisticated that it took 6 founders. We have 6 founders in there. Only 3 of us have openly said who we are. So Smooth and Crypto, everybody loves that guy. The dude, what can you say about the dude, right? The dude he's literally one of the smartest tokenomics guys I know. And I know some pretty smart guys. That guy, it's almost like tokenomics is just like a natural part of him. So of the 6 founders, 3 of us are, I wouldn't say docs, but we've said that we are part of it. And there are 3 others who will come forward whenever they want to. It's up to them. It's up to them.
I'm
It's
proud. I'm
crypto.
proud to announce that I'm part of that team right now.
Oh, Rich
Yep,
has just
I am
come out. Rich has
one of
just
those
come
6
out.
founders.
All righty. Well, didn't know if you were going to announce that, but I am proud to have you in there. I'm so, we've had so many 3-hour calls, right? 3 hour. In fact, one of them was 4 hours. I was there wasn't enough coffee in the world to keep me awake during those 4 hours. But this is such a sophisticated protocol. It took a lot of calls, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, creating, it's easy to use, extremely easy to use, but there's a lot of back end stuff. We cannot wait to start sharing on that. It's going to be a while. I'm not going to give any dates, but what I will say is potentially July. Like it could slip to August, but it's possible that this platform could launch in July. So we're not talking about something that's like 6 months away. So that is coming. And Rich, it's great to have you on that team. I mean, every time we talk, I just you bring a great perspective. Let me just say that you bring a fantastic perspective to it. And these green circles, I would love to see everything with green circles, and I would like to see 3-digit green circles. I'd like to see Matrix up 100%. I'd like to see BDX up 100%. I'd like to see X28 up 100. If X28 and Titan X go up like that, by the way, we are building on X28. So this follows quite a bit of the Titan X ethos. We are X28 is one of the options to use within the platform, and literally I cannot say anything else. Or dude is literally going to like dude and the other 5 founders will slap me until I'm like crazy. So I'm silly.
I would like
But
to
what I
go
like
ahead
to
and say,
oh,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead, go ahead,
No, I
take
would
it.
like to go ahead and say I was thinking earlier, it's important if the user wants to participate in smoke to
Yeah,
buy your X28 off the market and not use the X28 protocol because there's a 25% difference. So you don't want to lose
huge.
25% right off the bat. We will eventually bring X28 back up with the purchases, but we don't want to see users lose 25%.
Yeah, yeah. And by the way, look at X28 on Ethereum and look at X28 on Base. It's pretty low liquidity over on Base because, I can't pretend to know what Jake is thinking, but he's not going to make some huge, thick liquidity over on Base until there's enough protocols that warrants it. This is my guess. I did used to have chats with Jake. He's gone quiet because he goes quiet when he's building, right? We all know that. He goes quiet when he's building. I can't wait to see what he comes up with. Um, I respect Jake highly, and I'm going to go back in my time machine here about 10 minutes. So I brought up crypto kindness not just because he's a great guy, but I brought up crypto kindness because about 3 or 4 months before Titanx launched, Jake was on a crypto kindness stream. And he was pretty quiet. Like he was fairly quiet. When Jake was on a Titanx stream, he's got 1,000 words a minute, right? Like he's talking fast, he's throwing out ideas. But on that stream, he was listening. He was obviously talking and giving opinions. But I was always wondering, who is Jake? I only wish I would have followed Jake more closely because I was doing a bunch of things on Pulse Chain and doing well. I know 2 founders on Pulse Chain, and I was making some money over there. If you know what to do and you're in a good protocol, no matter what it is, you can make some money. So on one of the Pulse Chain streams, I saw a streamer pop up this little square. And what did the square say? The square said, Titanx, 28% buy and burn. And I was like, what the heck is that? Titanx. What is that? And this streamer he's a really smart guy, young guy too. And I said, all right, well let me go over and check it out. That was on December 3rd. December 3rd, I checked out the white paper. I immediately got in Titanx. I created 6 miners, all which did fantastically well. I did them anywhere from 12 days to 30 days. And luckily enough, like I was the COO of a very small Web3 company. And that company, my role was going to be ending in 60 more days. So I had to find a way to make money. And I was pretty lucky to find Titanx. Too bad I didn't find it at the very beginning, but December 3rd was still a fantastic time to get in. And yeah, so that's what I wanted to say. That I saw Jake earlier on, and that was one of my misses in life. Like my first big miss was Bitcoin. Like when my friend who brought me into IBM, when he talked about Bitcoin, I could have started mining Bitcoin back then, but I didn't. I didn't understand it. I had no idea what it was. I thought, who cares? But I've learned now. I've tried to open my mind since then, and I continue to try to open my mind to new opinions. Even if I don't like it when I first hear it, I try to look into it. So I think I've improved on that, and that's one thing I really need to work on is really looking into things. Don't make a snap judgment and say forget it, because you can definitely miss out if you don't do some research on things. You may miss out on something. So that was my learning lesson about that one. And that's why I brought up Zen as a very long story. Like, first of all, I liked it. It was my introduction to Fair Crypto. Got to meet Zenzu. Didn't get to meet Jack because he wasn't at that event. But that's how I got into that. And then day 33, December 3rd. Well, Titanx changed my life. It absolutely changed my life. I didn't have a job between December Actually, that's not true. Since January 15th of 2024 and July, I didn't have a job. So I had to rely on protocols. I literally supported myself by, I did a little bit of staking. I mean, Rich, wish I would have reached out to you because I probably could have done some better staking things. But I participated in different, protocols. I was able to earn almost my same salary in different protocols than I was making as the COO of that Web3 company. So crypto, Titanx literally changed my life. I learned to build. I learned to collaborate with others. I've opened my mind to new ways of doing things, the buys and burns, the staking, the NFTs. I was Legend, what was it called? Titan Legends. Titan Legends, my good friend Rudy. I reached out to Rudy, and you know what I said? I said, Rudy, I'm building a baby Dragon X protocol. Could we collaborate? He said, of course you can collaborate. So collaborated, and I was a kind of an informal advisor for him on Titan Legends, and that was a lot of fun. That was my first, but he was the first NFT, obviously, in Titan X, and that was a lot of fun. So a lot of learning in Titan X. Titan X changed my life, and I've learned and learned. I continue to learn every single day too. How about your story, Rich? Your like your journey in Titan X. Like any particular learnings that you've had?
Oh gosh.
Too many to list.
Actually, yes. So yeah, throw if we're gonna go throwback.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Let's
remember,
throw, let's take the time machine back. Let's go.
I remember getting a direct message in X, Twitter at the time,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it was from Jake.
Oh,
And I had recently noticed him in the Pulse Chain community, but I
yeah.
was at that point I was sort of been already scammed by different people. And one of the
Oh,
things I had learned is you don't respond to direct messages in Telegram or X or Twitter. So I took that as like, okay, I don't know who this guy is. We didn't meet, and he didn't approach me any other way but DM. So I'm not
yeah.
I'm not going to reply to this. And so I sat on that email for a long time, looked at it in there frequently, and I said, I kind of wanted to, but at the same time, I was cautious, and so I missed that moment too. However, but I did not miss the launch. I was
Mm,
in
mm.
Titan X within 4 hours of the launch,
Wow.
and to
Very
and to
nice.
the point pretty much where I have stopped investing in all other protocols,
Hmm.
actually all other ecosystems, should I say, and
Yeah.
all other chains. Basically, I was focused 100% in the Titan X ecosystem. I thought we were going somewhere. I believed that we were going somewhere. Yeah, so this last fall was a little bit of a shocker for a lot of people, including me, because I
Sure.
where we were, I never thought we were going to go round trip, and it was quite a disappointing few months. So we all had to adjust our belt and figure out how to stay in the game.
Exactly. Some people sold. Some people swapped into different protocols. Some people did very well. Some people did not do well. So yeah, good story.
I
Good
will
story.
say, if I would not have adopted the staking philosophy, though, that I sort of learned from Hex, which I never even
Oh
experienced because Hex stakes were like 15 years out. So I said,
yeah.
I'm going to move that same concept here. And when I did that, I started seeing my stake payouts rising and rising. And so to the point where I achieved almost a 10% stake in almost all the staking protocols, except Titanx,
Oh.
except
Okay.
Titanx, of course.
Mm, 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 mm.
And then, yeah, unfortunately, when January came and Titan X staking became irrelevant, it was we had to shift our um, strategies, and that's when Helios came aboard, and
Yeah.
it
February 28th. Nice day.
I
The
looked at
gas
that as saying, you know what, if Titan X is going
gas
to
was
drop,
200 away. Sorry,
I
go
kept
ahead. I think
thinking,
we're talking about.
yeah, I kept thinking if Titan X is going to drop now, I don't want to sell now. Why don't I just go into Helios and store
Yeah,
that payout till next year when Titan X should be worth more? Well, that
right.
that day is now 8 days from now, and I'm nearly a 10% holder in the Helios stake position. So
Oh,
I'm
whale. We have a whale in our presence.
I'm actually very bullish on the Titan-X ecosystem, but I was
Oh, yeah.
always kicking the can down the road for this time frame.
Mm, cool. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of learning. I mean, I love to talk to people in chats. I like to hear the variety of viewpoints. When Dragon X came out, I think everyone has a different opinion about Dragon X. Everyone, but you know what? Because I was not a big staker in Titan X, I did a couple small stakes just to do them. When Dragon X came out and it had that 12 week minting period, I went in, and the first 2 weeks were like 1 to 1. So I didn't go in what I would call heavy, but I went in decent enough. I went in with probably what I considered a good amount of funds, and I had no idea where that thing was going. I just didn't know. But what I did know is that I liked Eric. Like, love Eric or hate Eric, he's got some really interesting viewpoints, and he's built some fantastic protocols. I mean, people say, "Oh, I love the farms. I hate the farms." Well, it looks like Tink. I mean, I'm looking over here at Tink. Tink is up 22.8%. So something good is going on in the ecosystem. We got a lot of greens here, a lot of over 20%, a couple over 30%. So I've literally never stopped being bullish. I'm a very optimistic guy. As most of you have known, whether I'm in telegrams or I'm on a stream or I'm in the community, I'm a pretty optimistic guy. I believe that you make your own luck. I also believe that. Like, some people are just naturally lucky, but I believe that if you do the right things and you do a little bit of strategy, you can create your own luck also. So I got in Dragon X and reached out, like literally right away, reached out to Eric and said, "I'd like to build on Dragon X. What does that even mean?" And that's when he came in and offered the mentorship. There used to be two founders of Baby Dragon X, actually. There used to be two. But the other founder decided that it just wasn't for him. And he is listed in the white paper. He decided to back out. And that is totally fine, because crypto is, as Stunabrizi says, even I made a meme for Stunabrizi. Crypto is a solo sport, man. If you ever watch Stunabrizi, he often has that quote: "Crypto is a solo sport. Do what you want. Nobody tells you what to do. You make your own decisions." So I made a special meme for Stunabrizi. He liked the tweet. He didn't reply to it, but he liked it. So at least he saw it. So that was good enough for me. That was good enough for me.
Good stuff.
By the way, I used to be a very minor streamer in Titan X. Like, back when I first got in, because everybody was doing well. Like, those first 60 days, you almost couldn't do. I'm not saying you couldn't lose money in mining, but mining was really good those first 60 days. It was incredible. So I did some streaming. I streamed every day. I streamed every day or every other day for like 12 or 15 days. And I was getting like 300, 400 views, people on them. And I knew nothing. Like, I'm no expert. And I never even told people I was going to be building, because at that point I really didn't know. But I have never stopped being bullish ever since then. Red candles, green candles, because I believe in this ethos. I do believe in the ethos, and I believe the way that you can build on protocols, and especially the Titan X, six pack. That thing is going to turn some heads. So yeah, I don't want this thing to go too long. How long have we been on? Anybody know? Can I tell in the StreamYard? Will the StreamYard tell me? So we've been on an hour. We've been on. We did 90 minutes. So don't know. Rich, I probably probably want to close it up. Rich, did you have any closing remarks about smoke? Anything you want to say about smoke?
Yeah, just enjoy yourself. I mean, it looks like the Tightnex ecosystem is ready to take off. Again, use your discretion, invest wisely, don't overinvest. I don't want to hear people crying. It's fun. Let's have some fun. Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go. LFG. Absolutely. So I'd like to thank everyone. How many people do we actually? I think in StreamYard, because I'm also streaming to the JC Tech Future, which always gets a lot more views than Baby Dragon X. A lot more views. Let me see if I can actually see. There's like a little. There's like some kind of. Okay, it looks like 90. Looks like about 90 people or so. So not too bad. So yeah, get out there, do your own research, check out the docs, read over. I've already gone over smoke, but check over the smoke docs. Stop in the Telegram, ask your questions, tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like. If you want to build on Uranus, let me know, because when you build on Uranus, you're also going to you could do some fabulous things on your own, but you're also going to be supporting the Uranus ecosystem, and by being paired with E280 at the bottom, because the E280 is what everything is paired with. Like we don't create all these other pairs with X28. We prefer to pair with E280 for some different reasons. We will let Dude, when he comes on and when he streams, we'll let him tell you about his plans, because he's got some big plans. He's got some plans also for base that are outside of the Tightnex six-pack team. So, Rich, if those were your closing remarks, I'd like to say thank you for everyone who joined. We really appreciate you. Come on in, check it out, and we'd love to hear your opinions. What could we do better? If we build, not if, when more builders build on Uranus, what would you like to see? Because if a builder sees your opinions and asks some questions and get the comments out, maybe the next ring, well, the third ring is coming. Like I can't tell you who that is, but the third ring is coming. You could be the fourth ring of Uranus, and you could do your own thing. You could do your own meme, and like I said, there's quite a bit of flexibility. You get an audited account. You get a built-in package. It's like getting a McDonald's franchise, but it doesn't cost much, and you get a lot of experience. So maybe you could close out with this one, Rich. Now that you're a full-fledged founder, like you're not a co-founder like you and I were for E280, now that you're a full-fledged founder, what would you tell other potential founders? Do you have any words for them?
Find yourself a good wingman.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. This is not come natural to me. I'm more or less an investor type minded. I just wanted to have fun with this meme, but after this, I'm going to get back to projects that have utility and support my
Yeah.
values. And but this is a meme token to have fun with.
Absolutely. So my closing remarks will be, thanks for coming in, thanks for joining. We appreciate you. Enjoy the Tightnex ecosystem, and let's just have fun with it and take care of yourselves. Be healthy, stay hydrated, touch grass, don't look at the charts all the time, and enjoy life. Thanks, everyone. Have a
Yep.
great one.
Thank you, everyone. See y'all.